Welcome, Capricorn, to your Astrodice reading for June. Hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, hit that big old like button. Let's get in here and get started. Looking for that best house and best message for the beautiful Capricorn. We do have a Mercury retrograde coming in on the 29th, which will also be the full moon in Capricorn, straight into your sign. So I will be doing those readings individually for you, so be sure to be on the lookout for that if you are interested in those types of readings. Let's go. We do have some Gemini energy coming out with Mercury in the 12th house. Hey. Talk about Mercury and Gemini. Those are both, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and being that we are having a Mercury retrograde, I do feel like this Mercury retrograde could possibly affect that 12th house. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? Okay, guys, let's look and see what's going on over here. How you think, feel, write, talk, and travel. This energy is communicative, mischievous, lively, witty, informative. A stimulating exchange is possible. Straight into the 12th house. This is the area of your life that's overwhelming you. You yield to the greater cause of power. Okay, guys. So we're definitely looking at some kind of subconscious downloads and unlocking hidden truths over here, guys. This is forcing some kind of massive deep dive into your blind spots. Could be receiving some kind of psychic downloads for some of you, vivid dreams, unexpected realizations about your life. It's almost like the universe is rewiring your subconscious, forcing you to look at the hidden patterns or secrets you've ignored. So you finally have this break free moment from self-sabotage and claiming your rewards. So it almost feels like a lot of your overwhelming situation is a lot of overthinking as well. Okay, so let's get straight in here and see what's going on in this situation. Getting straight into the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. Do have the Eight of Swords or that overthinking. Could be towards a relationship or some kind of contract that you have going on. It's going to end up faith-based, that's for sure. Yep, I see it. It's contracted with your love. This is definitely feels like love. What you're passionate about. Take what resonates, what doesn't resonate. Leave for someone else. It does look like it's a love situation. If you know it's just some kind of contract that maybe you got yourself into, some deep passionate area of your life and desire. It could be a car, right? I really love this car, and now I'm getting worried because of payments, right? Maybe your job's not going as well. Maybe you lost some finances. Take it how it resonates, but it has something to do with contracts. So the month is definitely starting off with some kind of intense psychological, kind of like a bottleneck effect. Your traditional ways of thinking are clashing directly with your deep subconscious knowing over here, which we were talking about that subconscious before. Feeling trapped in your head, but feeling maybe divinely guided towards a situation. Being trapped in this loop of overthinking, anxiety, self-imposed thoughts. Eight of Swords. It's like with this mental prison that you have sitting next to this Hierophant, there's this higher spiritual wisdom, though, that's going on. The Hierophant represents a system, a contract, the long-held belief system that you've always relied on for security. But the universe is showing you that this rigid rules or societal expectations you've been forcing yourself to follow are exact things creating the blindfold. Like I said, it could be these contracts. Maybe there's something could be going on in the love situation. I mean, this is definitely the catalyst right here to the 12th house. Fated crossroads. I mean, this card in itself demands alignment, guys. It's for the harmony and the choices made from the heart and the soul, right? Rather than obligation. So if you feel like you're obligated, like I said, you bought this car, maybe you feel, you know you're obligated to have to pay this, but now all of a sudden something happened, a love situation, or maybe you feel obligated to this person, but it's not supposed to be that way. The universe is forcing a major decision into your space. More than likely, it has something to do with this close partnership. Like I said, it could be a career contract too, or some kind of contract that's going on with a car or a house or something that you bought that you just feel like you're having issues on now. But now it's almost like you can't really play it safe anymore, because you know that that you're obligated to this situation, or your heart says, I need to be here. I need this done. This is the way it has to be. If that traps you in your mind because you're saying, I don't know how long I can hold on to this. Should I hold on to this? So, I mean, that's very overwhelming for the 12th house. You might even feel, for some of you, that, you're in your head because maybe you feel like it's more like, I want them to love me. I don't want them to make me feel like their obligation. So it could be the other way around. Feel like this is true love going straight to you. Yeah, I think it's love, guys, because you have the Two of Cups in reverse. They might make you feel more like an obligation than the true love that you want it to be. So I'm just going to put my heart and soul into this situation. Let's grab a clarifying card on this one. Clarified by the Queen of Wands to the Judgment. They're falling out together. So definitely going to be saying, hey, I want you to understand this, right? The Queen of Wands to the Judgment. So the mid-month is this massive kind of unapologetic shift going on over here in the 12th house. The passive overthinking at the beginning of the month is kind of shattered. It is. It's kind of shattered only because you're stepping in to this place and of not people pleasing anymore. You don't want to take my love. I still feel it's love, so I'm going with love, guys. If it's one of the other things I said, then that's fine. Because no matter what, you're doing it for yourself. You're figuring out a way. You're having that great awakening with the Judgment. But I really see love in this situation. However it is, you're either not people pleasing anymore, you don't want to love me, you don't feel, you making love into an obligation, then it feels like you're kind of stopping all that giving, where they're making it like, oh, I have to write him back. Oh, I got to write Capricorn back. It's like, it shouldn't be that way, right? You've given your heart and soul. Nobody wants to feel like an obligation. You want them to write you back. You want them to be with you the way that you feel passionate about them, but you're not feeling like they're giving that back. So you're letting go of that people pleasing. You're reclaiming your absolute power and making this sort of executive decision over here that is definitely shifting and altering your entire path. Now this is changing everything around. I mean, the Two of Cups just in itself is showing that major disconnect. The Hangman is showing, you know, that you refuse to stay stuck in this place of sacrificing your peace, your connection, your loves, your desires for someone who's not giving back. Cutting the cord, breaking out of that pause. You know, kind of refusing to wait around for you anymore. Could be dealing with a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Could be a Capricorn, another Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Could be anybody in the world. I just feel like this Emperor, though, is you, Capricorn. This is your authority manifesting in full force. You're stepping into this ultimate leadership, logic, and structure. You're no longer letting emotions or old subconscious guilt dictate your moves anymore, my friends. You're saying you're laying down the law, settling some kind of immovable boundaries, yeah, and building the secure foundations entirely on your own terms. It almost, you know, it's kind of like if you owe money on this car or whatever that you're trying to pay, it's kind of like, you'll wait. I have money coming in. You're just going to have to wait a minute. I'm not going to let you, you know, dictate all of this because I've got this, right? And you definitely do. You definitely do have this. Not letting others dictate what's going on because you know this is what you want and you're getting to it. I'm going to get it done. Nothing's going to stop me from not doing it. It's kind of like, well, the payment might not be on time, but I'm definitely got it within the next paycheck. So just settle down. You see what I'm saying? Man, I've done that so many times. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, fine. You gave me a late payment. Whoopity-woo. Okay, just relax. I'm getting it. I've got it by the mid-month. Just relax. You're putting me on my head for nothing. I get it. And then, of course, if it's this person, it's kind of like this wake-up call, you know, of how they're treating you versus how you've been treating them. And you're just like, fine. Because you have this fiery confidence that's leading you straight into this Judgment card. This Queen of Wands says, this is who I am. I've got this. I'm reclaiming my confidence and passion. Right? This is the spiritual wake-up, the cosmic rebirth with the life call. And this is like, I've got it. I know what I'm doing. So, I mean, this is validating that, you know, that executive decision that you're making, right? So, I mean, this is your absolute moment of absolution, right? You're like, I've got what I got. I like it because you're just like, yeah. And if they don't want to treat me good, then I've got it. I'm not messaging you anymore. You're not going to treat me like some obligation. You're not going to treat me like some side piece. I give you all the love, all the harmony, and this is the way you repay me. There was no love. You showed me I was an obligation. Wow, that's terrible. You know, and like I said, if it's this car, this payment, or whatever it is, that it's something different, it's like you already know what your obligations are. You know you're obligated to do so. You don't need to hear them call you 152,000 times because you owe a payment on a credit card. I'm using that one because that's usually my case scenario in the past. Yeah, I know I'm late, okay? Got it. Just relax. Dang, I'm unplugging the phone. I'm blocking your number. You call me 500 times, right? I remember that in the past. It's like so annoying. And that's when I had, you know, they're calling my landline, you know. I just take it out of the wall. Yeah, I know. You don't need to call me 12 times in one day. You already talked to me once. Okay, guys, going straight into the end of the month. Got the moon in reverse, the Four of Wands. Yeah, see? But you're not going to be hurt by this. The Three of Swords. It's like, I understand. Right? I paid it. I got it done. Everything's done in the mid-month. I did what I was supposed to do. Or maybe you had that realization to get it done in the end of the month. Fine. right? But you're getting it done. Or this person's going to have a really rude awakening because you just gave them a rude awakening. And then they're going to figure it out right here, the Four of Wands in reverse. Let's get a clarifying card here. And I also want to get a card for the beginning of July as the overall. Yep. Eight of Cups in reverse, though. You're saying I'm not truly walking away. I'm just standing my ground. Ooh, it's like almost like you're giving them this kind of like closure, this like wake up call, and then you're waiting for them to respond if it's a love situation. You know, if it's, like I said, any of the other things, those other situations, it's just this kind of cleanup. It's a cleanup situation, right? I got it. You did what you're supposed to do. You understand what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's almost like you have this heavy choice to walk away from this misaligned connection when it comes to love situations. It's because it feels like the dust is finally settling behind closed doors over here in the 12th house. I mean, they got what they need to hear, right? And no matter what the situation is, you paid what you're going to pay, or you told them you're going to pay in the end of the month or whatever. So no matter what, the dust is settling to this situation. Okay. You've spoken your truth. We see it with the moon over here. Anxieties, hidden fears are completely dissolved. It's like, because, you know, it's like, yeah, I've said what I was going to say. But with it, with the Four of Wands is interesting because it's saying, I finally spoke my truth. I told my truth. There's a sense of lack of peace or a feeling of being uprooted in your domestic life, right? But for everything else, it's just like, yeah, it was unsettling, but it's done and over with. Three of Swords, I'm not going to let this hurt me. There's that silver lining. The end of the long-standing heartache. Finally releasing any kind of tensions. It's like releasing the Eight of Swords. It's literally next to each other going this way. If you're upset about whatever the situation is, it's just saying, I'm stitching everything back together. I'm stitching my heart back together. Rather than letting everything bleed out or being stuck in my mind anymore. Everything's, you know, done. I'm just becoming very, very calm at this time. Right? This is clarifying this fascinating twist because, like I said, it's like you're successfully cut out the toxic elements to what was going on during the mid-month. It's a strong pullback, but it's also that accepting of a second chance for this person. But it also feels like, you know, whatever the other situation is, whether it's the car payment or whatever it is, it's almost like, you know, it's like they're telling you, okay, we understand, but you're just going to have a late bill or whatever. You know what I mean? But no matter what, it's that second chance that's sitting there, right, as you're reclaiming your investments or working on salvaging the peace within your home, sacrificing whatever boundaries you have. So it's almost like everything's just returning back to normal. And then, of course, in the love relationship, it's like just picking up the mess. But it's almost like letting them pick up their own mess to come back and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. So it's almost like you're in a waiting game, waiting to see what their next move is. And at the bottom of the deck, you do have the Eight of Wands to the Six of Swords in reverse. So definitely on your way to the next phase. So, I mean, beautiful final, you know, final message here. You know that, you know, going into July, you know, it's kind of a traffic jam in its own way. Got this fast moving energy coming in from here. Could be messages coming through. Getting you back on track. It is definitely getting you back on track with your finances, getting back on track with that contract. If this is a person, they're finally understanding what's going on, because there's a lot of communication, incoming news. It's like the gridlock is over, and your mental bandwidth is also suddenly flooded with these green lights and accelerations, and you can go, 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 and everything is just really back on track. I just love it because it's just back on track. And if this person really wants to, you know, get back with you, here comes all these communications, because they realize what has happened. It's almost like they've evaluated what you have said over here, Capricorn. Okay, they realize, you know what, if I don't do something with Cap, this is going to be over. The floodgates are going to close. So it's funny, they're opening up the floodgates so that you don't close your own. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, so this, you know, awakening over here that you have is definitely about your final subconscious release in its own way, because you've been thinking so much about the situation and then bringing it into this conscious conclusion of how to do things and what to do and how to be kind of lightning fast about it. Really putting your foot down when it comes to this situation and taking back your power. Very beautiful reading, my friends. Until next time, peace and love.